We need your mom to come back. I know your mom was hilarious at your birthday party.
I saw so many videos of her, like of her getting low.
Dropping it low.
Yeah,
She sure did drop it low.
I was like, okay, moms.
When I know this sounds focused, I just realign. I'm on my grind.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Everything's Perfect, where today we're talking about everything's perfect except college.
Except the college years, except being $100,000 in debt when you get...
Except that degree that you maybe aren't using. Yeah.
Probably. It's an interesting topic to get into. First of all, did you go to college?
So I went to a community college after I finished my homeschooling years for almost 6 months. The college was in quarters, and to be totally frank, I don't remember if I did 2 full quarters. I think I did. And that's it. So I was crushing the college, but it was the first time I ever went to school. So I was like, I'm doing great. And I didn't do any homework. It was just charm that got me through that thing. So I don't know if that works at a full, I don't know if charm will get you your bachelor degree, but.
So it was very useful for you. College was great for you.
It was really fun for those 6 months because I was used to being in my home. It's like the show, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, when they're all in a bomb shelter because they think some crazy guy told them that the world ended. Yeah. It's like I came out of the house and entered. I was so nervous walking into class in front of my classmates. It's like, dude, it's a community college. Chill out. So that was my experience. What about you?
I went to college. I went to Webster University, a performing arts college in St. Louis. I did 3.5 years. I left a semester before I graduated because I was a dance major, and my ballet master who ran the program sat me down and let me know he was never going to let me graduate. Yeah, fucker.
What a bitch.
Yeah, no, he was a bitch. Like if I ever wanted to throw a name out, then now is when I want to throw somebody under the bus.
Right.
No, this guy hated me because he was all about ballet, and ballet was not my strong suit. Jazz was. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to like go perform music videos, like fun. I'm not built to be a ballerina. I didn't even start ballet until I was like 13, which is just, 10 years behind when everybody else starts. Like,
most these kids learning to walk on point.
Yeah, literally. And the way it worked, since I was a dance major, was that you had to get cast in the senior show. And even though I would audition and perform well, he wouldn't cast me. And he literally pulled me aside because there was like one for each semester. And he pulled me aside after the first semester. And he said, if you want your degree, it's not going to be from Webster. I will never cast you in this show.
Oh my God.
So
like I've heard you mention that, but that is wild. Did he offer you another solution?
No, he hated me. This is somebody who literally like just was pulling a power move.
Were you, how were you what kind of student were you?
First of all, fuck you. Second of all,
I'm not trying to victim blame, but I was just curious.
But I actually was a really good student. But here's what I'll say about this dance department. When I went, so it's been a hot second, you guys, but when I went, okay, whatever. Gary was in charge of it. And
fucking Gary, man,
this guy. First of all, I would just like to say I proved his ass wrong. Here I am, boo. Snap. But again, one, he was very into ballet. Fine. I liked ballet. I did the best I could with it. And I auditioned. So you knew what my talent was coming in. Like I had to go through a whole day dance audition, interviews, all the things with him. So like you knew what you were getting when I came in. You knew my strong suit was jazz, not ballet. Fine. So I'm giving it what I got. But I also had ended up with a bulging disc. Like I remember first month or two of class, like I was in ballet class, and he had me doing it like I'll just say a leg extension out in front. And I had it lifted as high as I could go. And he came over and he shoved my leg up. No, it was behind me. I was in arabesque. And he came over and he shoved my leg up. And I was like, ugh, because it hurt my back. And he said, did that hurt? And I said, yeah. And he goes, maybe you should be a secretary. And waved his hand at me to go back to the bar. I was a freshman. Like I was 17. I didn't even turn 18 until I was in college. I was 17 years old and I got like so dismissed by it. So I got stories for days. And then the other main teacher of the department was very much into modern dance, which I think modern dance is beautiful to watch, but like this is somebody who would, I'm pretty sure she probably was high as a fucking kite most of the time looking back, because she would come dressed crazy. 47 layers in the middle of summer. I was like, eat a sandwich. And she would take us outside for class, for like modern class. She would take us outside. So we're not in the dance studio. And she would say, pick an object and create a dance. Like, what? I don't dance because I saw a tree. Like, for me, put a song on, give me a beat, give me some good lyrics, and I'll create you a dance. But look at a tree and then on campus in front of everybody, run around like a stoner with Tay in the wind. Like,
that's what I'm thinking of the movie now.
Literally. So I did the best I could with multiple times being asked to like create dances based on inanimate objects. Like I remember one time it was like, pick something from your daily routine and turn it into a dance.
Oh my gosh.
So like, and then I, moved to LA and end up meeting other people, like obviously long after I was out of college, and like other friends that had gone to different dance colleges. And they're like, yeah, we learned formations and timing and how you write out dance like in words. And I was like, oh, what? No, I didn't learn that.
Yeah.
I learned how to look at a house. and I hated it.
Yeah.
They actually ruined dance for me.
That sucks.
Like,
sometimes I think that's
passion.
the case. And we're talking about college. I have told most successful dancers in the industry I know, and you don't know this when you're coming out of high school, you think, especially when we were in high school, you were supposed to go to college no matter what it was. But it's like just if you want to be a dancer, go audition and take classes.
Yeah.
These people are trying to prove something, and I think sometimes teachers in general just are like pressuring their students to achieve things that they couldn't, and it's so annoying. It's like, I'm not your pathway to being amazing. Like let's just, let's clear that up. Like we're just trying to get Did you know the minute you went, when you decided to go to college, that you were going to be a dance major?
I knew before I ever went to college that I was going to be a dance major, because it was you're going to college. Like that was a thing. You were going to college. Not that there was a college fund or anything like that, but sure.
Whatever.
I guess I'm going to college.
Who doesn't love crippling debt entering adulthood?
Seriously.
With this dark cloud just looming over you.
Looming over you. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this.
It's literally like one of the only things that bankruptcy doesn't even cover. Your student loans.
They're
like, we still got you. It really is. Like, it's like, okay, well, help the workforce, please, because I'm trying to make $1 here, and it's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
You're the ones that let me major in dance with a focus on house.
Yeah.
With a focus on dancing like a tree. Tell me how I'm supposed to make money to pay for this fucking student loan.
How am I supposed to not end up on the street at this point?
Literally.
But I danced all through high school. That was my passion. I knew I wanted to do something performing as an adult. So if I was going to go to college, then that's what I was going to go for. And I also knew that I didn't have a strong enough background in something like ballet to get into somewhere like Juilliard or NYU. Like, I was not going to get into a top dance program because I didn't have enough years under my belt because I started so late. Like, I really didn't start dancing. I didn't start taking dance class until I was 13. So I had 4 years where most people had 13 going in, maybe 14 or 15, depending on how young they were when their parents started them. And they had multiple studies of like dance and gymnastics and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I had a solid 4 years under my belt.
Yeah.
So I was going to be limited in my options as a dance major, but that's all I wanted to do. But yeah, in hindsight, did I need to go to college for it? No. I should have come straight to LA and started taking all of the class. Like if I would have taken the money I spent on college. Can we just talk about how bullshit rigged college is for a second?
Totally. I'm here for that.
Okay. So high school nowadays, like what they put these kids through now in high school is insane. Like the workload. Like these kids have such crazy, like advanced AP. You got to do all these things to be able to even get into college. You're doing more in high school than you actually do when you get to college, which I actually have seen. Like I remember watching my little brother, because I'm 10 years older than him. Like when he got to college, he like didn't know what to do with himself because he had so much downtime. Like high school was so rigorous to get into the college of your choice that by the time he got to college, he was like, I don't know, I go to school twice a week for 4 hours. Like what, these are how these kids start to get in trouble. It's like,
yeah, what else are you going to do?
I was so structured. Now I don't know how to.
Let's put a beer keg up our butts and see what happens.
And just go with it. But also it's such bullshit because they got you for 4 years and your first year or two is all the quote unquote general education. Well, what did I spend the last 4 years doing in high school?
Yeah.
I thought that was my general education to get me to college. Like, why do I got to learn about the water cycle again? Didn't I already take algebra? I'm pretty sure I already learned to read and write papers. Like, why do I got to do lit unless I want to do something as a writer? Like, I just think the general education classes are such a scam.
Because they're also not general education. I don't need
Any of
honestly,
it.
a huge waste of time. Like,
Waste time, waste money.
Like, I don't even remember how to do basic math. And the reason for that is because I don't fucking need to. Like, I know how to
Punch
count
numbers.
money.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
Same.
fun. Love that
Got
habit. But like at some point it's like I feel like over educating and it takes away people being able to experience life. I do. My advice to people with college has always been, if you want to be like obviously a doctor or an attorney,
Of course,
or
you need it.
something like that, or something, if you're a really good student and maybe you'd go in politics, and just having a really robust educational history would be good for you. So maybe you try to get into the best schools and it's for that. But or I'm a huge fan of trade schools. Like if you want to be a hairdresser, go. That's great. Take a reasonable year and a half or however long it takes for that, 2 years or something. Or if you want to be a nurse, even my dad didn't go to college, and I think about he was 19 when he graduated high school. Both my parents were 20 when I was born, and he started working at General Motors. And at that time, in that part of the country, and for people like in our demographic, socioeconomic demographic, it was a good living, and it was a sure thing. And he always said, I can get you boys a job at General Motors, but then all the plants shut down because nothing lasts forever.
Right.
And it was really a special thing for me to see him look down. It looked like, do the research and decide what is the best thing I can do for me and my family right now. And so he went into nursing, and he's found this whole passion. But I'm sure that if he would have gone into nursing at 19, he wouldn't have had the same passion. It would have been. So I kind of think college is rushed on people at an age where they don't even know. I mean, literally, you're expected to graduate and your frontal lobe isn't even fully developed.
Seriously.
Like it's kind of wild that society puts this pressure on still such young people. Like, even though we're legal at 18, we're still very much developing into who we're going to be. And we're like, okay, pay thousands of dollars and figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. And by the way, the workforce is oversaturated and constantly changing. And honestly, it's sort of like how in the doctor's office, new information in science takes 7 to 10 years before it shows up in the doctor. And I wonder, new things happening in the workforce, how long it takes for it to get into universities.
Oh my gosh, it's still not there, because here's the thing. If it was there, no college would still be structured the way it is. There wouldn't be like, oh, first of all, general education. Can you teach somebody how to balance a checkbook, please? Like, can you teach these kids how to do taxes? Because let me tell you, I've had so many issues with taxes and paying people like tax prep that have messed my taxes up horribly, but I don't know how to fix it. So I'm like looking for the next person. Oh,
I do my own taxes with one eye closed
and hoping
like
for the best.
Yeah, cross my heart, hope to God that they don't find me, because it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't know, but I feel like I broke 7 laws.
Not on purpose or anything, but
not on purpose. Yeah, for the record.
But just nobody taught us how to do taxes.
Exactly.
Like teaches like home ec is no longer a thing in high school or anywhere else. Like if college was really designed to set you up to be successful in the real world, especially the world we're living in right now, coding, photography, videography, editing. I'm sorry, but we live online. That is just a hard truth. Like I wish like I would go to this school.
Yeah.
like teach me, what do your passion? What do you want to talk about? Because no matter what your passion is, you're probably going to have to promote it online somewhere. So you should know marketing. Like you should, like I said, you should know how to film. You should know how to edit. Maybe you need photography if you're into cooking. Great. You need to know how to shoot food compared to how to shoot still images of a dog or an action photo, or like maybe like all of that stuff like that the world is based on right now. AI is like a new thing, but you're not going to see this in school. Like you might catch a class here or a class there, but even, you were saying 7 to 10 years, I get people, I'm just being very blunt today. People bust my balls all the time about the fact that I don't have a degree in nutrition. And I'm like, so you're under the impression that I can't sit at my kitchen table and learn?
Right.
Like why? And by the way, what they're teaching in school is probably 7 to 10 years behind. A lot of it is regulated by who's paying for certain things. So it's not necessarily the most up to date. Like you can listen to doctors talk about how, I went to school, but I didn't get nutrition training. I just got taught this. I had to go seek that out on my own and stuff like that. So I just think that there's so many things that are like missing.
I agree. Totally.
Like women, like, why aren't we being taught about our okay, you're taught about your period, or like you're taught sex education. I mean, not the real sex, get you a man, keep you a man. But
all right, girls, here's what you gotta do.
So here's what you gotta do.
I want to teach that class. Come on, ladies, get close. I'm gonna break it down for you. That's hilarious.
I'm dead. Yeah, but they're just not teaching you things that I think are actually useful right now in this day and age and prepping you for what's to come.
So let me ask you, because I could say the things I enjoyed about college, but it lasted for literally 6 months. What was your favorite part of your college experience?
Okay. I mean, it was cool. I got to move away from home. I could not wait, in all honesty, to just get out of either one of my parents' houses.
Reference the family episode if you haven't, if you're listening.
If you're literally 17, packed my car and said, bye. And literally neither one of my parents even moved me into college. My high school boyfriend's mother at the time met me, because I had to fly in, and picked me up, took me to my dorm, and got me set up. That thanks, Mom and Dad, for not being there for me again. I don't have a lot of issues. But it was just being in the dorm, being away from, like I said, being out on my own, really for the first time, truly being able to make my own decisions, do my own thing. While I liked my dance classes, I liked going to do other things. So meeting friends, and then we would go take other dance classes at other studios. It was more the friends and the community of because the first year I lived in the dorms, then we had on-campus apartments that I not only had a full college load, but then I worked full time. to be able to lease my first car and pay for that apartment. And, you know, I had some fun on the weekends. Like I definitely like to go hit up the clubs and dance until 3:00 in the morning. So like my college years were fun. I took a semester off of college. I went and did the Disney college program. So got to earn credit for that while working for Walt Disney World. Super fun time. What did I learn?
Yeah.
What did I learn at the college program? I learned a lot of things that didn't pertain to helping me on career paths.
Right. That's what I think too. Like, you know, I didn't go to college, and I'm sure that there is, well, I will say for my little run at the community college, I loved it because I had never been in a school setting like that before. And even just, I made a few friends, and going to lunch and having the freedom in college is a little different than obviously high school. And so I did have fun with that, but it's not a college experience when you're going to a community college and you're still very much in your, like where you lived. And it's an experience. It's just different than like someone who goes away to university. But
so let me ask you, why did you choose? You went to community college, you did like a semester, and then why did you choose to not go further with it?
Because I started getting opportunities to do other things, and there were like, I'm trying to remember exactly. I vaguely remember like I had to travel when I had an important test, and they were not being flexible with me. And I was like, this doesn't even matter. Like I'm literally just here. I'm not going to turn down life experiences while I'm lollygagging at this community college in limbo, not sure what I want to do. And the thing is, I liked the idea, and I understand liking the idea of getting an education that then allows you to have a job where you make more money, and maybe it's something you enjoy and not just a regular job. But life has shown me that that's really not most people's situation. It is. If you're listening and that is your situation, I legit am very happy for you. And you're the person that college like worked out really well for.
Made for. Absolutely.
Or if you're the person who, for example, if my parents had a bunch of money, I probably would have gone, and I'd very much value the college experience, but it wouldn't have cost me years of having to have that debt. And I found myself then later in my late 20s, friends with a bunch of people who went to college and had all these student loans, but we were at the exact same place in life. It didn't push them forward at all.
Right.
Like, well, I don't want to say at all, but any more than the life adventures and experiences that I did. Like instead of going to college, I performed on a cruise ship, and I traveled around, and I got to do just a lot of I also tried a lot of different jobs. Like I worked for an insurance agent. I was going to become licensed in that. So many things. But the good thing about that is it gives you an idea of what you'd like or what you wouldn't. Right. And so just the idea of something is so different than actually doing it. My cousin Sarah works she's been working sort of in finance, and she is 42. She's 2 years older than me. And she just got her bachelor's degree and I think she's a CPA now. But she's 42. She has been working in that field, and it's something that made sense. And she found herself in that profession and wanted to educate herself more. And so that makes sense. Right. But an 18-year-old who goes for, a degree in the Northern Lights and how they affect cultures for centuries. It's like, well, what are you going to do with that? Where,
I mean, maybe they're going to go teach or something, but I 1,000% think for you that absolutely was the right path. For me,
I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, same. For me, like I said, I don't necessarily regret college, but because I think the biggest thing that maybe it taught me was like how I ended up having to overcome, like college put a lot of self-doubt in me that I didn't have before I went, because my ballet master Gary, was so hard on me that by the time I left college, I was broken physically and emotionally. Like my back was so bad because of the bulging disc. Like at one point I remember I sneezed and just buckled to the ground, like crying. I was in so much pain. But like to him, you know, in the dance world, it's you just keep going. You just keep going. And like anytime I was in pain, like I literally came with a note like from the doctor saying like what my scans look like and that I was going to be in back surgery by the time I was 20 if I kept training the way I was training. And he just didn't give a shit. He just was like, you know, dismissed me as I was being lazy or I wasn't dedicated or I didn't work hard enough, which was really hard for me because I had so much passion and so much heart for it that it was like, how do you not see that? And I had to overcome later on all of the self-doubt that he put on me over those 3.5 years of not being good enough, especially when it came to dance. Like that was a big one. It actually came out. I had to deal with a lot of it during the making of Country Heat, which is so stupid. Like Country Heat,
like trauma,
yeah,
past trauma,
like literally past trauma. Like I didn't realize how deep it was, but there was so much. I was triggered so easily by any feedback because I was creating dance stuff, and like it was probably cathartic. I probably needed it, but it like college really like messed me up more than anything. And again, I left with, I don't know, $70,000 in debt. Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, you know, I was able to pay it off being a part, like when I signed with Body and starting to make more money. And I think the best thing that I got introduced to was like anatomy and physiology, but I wish I had way more of that over those years. Like in being a dance major, like getting that for a semester or two was really cool, but I wish I had gotten more of it. So I guess I don't really regret it because I think I would have been too young to come to LA, like 17 coming to LA. I probably would have gotten eaten alive.
Yeah, some crack whore on the street.
Yeah. I needed a little more time of like learning and working really hard. Like I really learned my work ethic to save money so that I could do the next thing. But like when I was in college, I worked full time. I also was on the work study program and I still came out like $70K in debt.
Yeah.
To dance.
Yeah.
How stupid. I should have just went to a studio.
I do think it's wild that I don't know. This could get political, but I do think that where student loans are so easily approved to people for positions that very likely are not going to pay for the degrees that they're lending. So it feels to me sort of like the housing bubble conversation, that there's the same problem with that they're giving money to so many students who obviously need the money because they can't afford to go without it.
Right.
And they're giving it to people for degrees that are there's very limited jobs,
right?
Especially for an artistic person. And I really empathize with those people because I'm a very artistically driven person. And so when I was a teenager, having that part of me, but thinking I need to find a way to fit into society and college is the only way. Obviously, if someone's going to say, well, here, we'll make it possible for you. We'll give you the money and you can take this major in what you're interested in without any real path to a profession in it. And so then you have creatives working in restaurants, just like a lot of times they do anyways.
Yeah.
With 70, 80, 100 grand in debt sometimes.
Yeah. And then they got to go live in the most expensive places in the country, New York, California, Chicago.
Right.
And try to pay for it. And you're like, yeah, that student loan's never getting paid off. So I hope you enjoyed giving it to me.
So I would advise, my thing that I would say to someone if they were thinking about going to college is there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but what do you want to go for? Are you going because you feel pressured by society to go? Because I think we should take that pressure off a little bit.
For sure.
I know a lot of people who have gone back later in life and actually pursued something they found interesting versus people just jumping in without having a clue.
Yeah.
You know, like if you think about, it's just wild that, you know, you're 16 just getting your driver's license and in 2 years you're making life-altering decisions about where you're going to go to college and put all this money investment into. So I would just say really think about it. If you want to be something, maybe you go into the workforce for a year and see what sounds good to you. That might motivate you. You might think, okay, this kind of work isn't something I want to be doing. And just really think about it. If you have the money and you want the experience, because education is so valuable, but you can educate yourself without going. I feel very educated, even though I didn't go to college. Yeah. So what about you? Or like, what do you and Dom have these conversations?
Oh yeah. Dom's not going to college by his choice. And I'm okay with that. Like, I was thinking about it. It was like college, like I said, it was talked about in my household all the time. Like, you go to college. That was a thing. Even though my dad didn't really go. He went to junior college a few times. But I think that was the biggest reason he wanted us to go so bad. And Bobby and Kaylee both went, and Bobby and Kaylee both graduated. Good little students that they are. But like I said, I didn't finish the semester early. So I think Kent and I realized probably pretty early on that Dom would not be a normal path, like traditional, I don't want to say normal, a traditional path in general. Like, this kid is an adrenaline junkie. He loves anything that gets his adrenaline going. He's also picks up on stuff really quick. He loves to use his body. He has such a big heart, but how he learns is definitely not the way they teach in college. Like, this is why he's homeschooled, because this is not a kid that does well sitting at a desk listening to somebody lecture for hours. It's just not how he learns. So I think by the time we pulled him out to homeschool him, we already knew, like, you know, when he was like 7, he's like, I want to be in the X Games. And I'm like, ugh. You know, I'm glad that path didn't happen necessarily, because he was into skateboarding. He got on his first skateboard when he was 4. By the time he was 7, he was dropping in on 20-foot bowls. So, like, had he pursued it, like, he used to beg us to homeschool him so he could pursue it harder. So he does have passion for the things that, like, he's interested in. But we held him back a year. So now he just finished his freshman year of high school, but Dom's 16 and a half. So we've already talked about it. He has asked, he wants to get his GED. You have to be 17 to get your GED, which means January of this coming, like January 2026, he can take the test for GED. So when he starts his sophomore year with his homeschool teacher, they'll be going through the sophomore curriculum, but they will at the same time be prepping him for his GED. And I'm okay with that. Like, I was 17 when I graduated high school. I turned 18 in college. So I'm okay with him not spending 2 more years learning algebra and geometry and history and all that. And what I love is that he has a lot of interests. So I really try to foster those interests. Like, Dom wants to be a firefighter. That's where he's at right now. He has changed that multiple times in the last 2 years. First it was he wanted to be a jet pilot, like in the Navy. Then he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. Thank God he's moved away from both of those. God bless the people that do it, but like
you don't want your baby out there doing that.
I don't know how I don't know how parents do it. Like, literally the thought, I'm just like, but yeah, now he says firefighting, and I'm like, at least I know where you are. Like, and I know I would know where you are. But he also is like, I want to learn to work with my hands, Mom. Like, I would like to take some woodworking classes. I'm like, cool, I can foster that. Like, we can find those things. There is a year-long program with the Los Angeles County Fire Department that he can apply for, like ride-alongs, learn the CPR, learn certain things that would bring him a step closer when he goes to apply for Fire Academy. Dom loves photography. So, like, he pulls his camera out, and this is a kid who, like, TikTok and YouTube that's what I call it, like TikTok University and YouTube University. Like, he just gets on there and watches these videos, and he learns so much on how to do these things. So I'm like, if you want to learn more of those things, like, I will happily help find you good quality classes that will teach you more, because honestly, I think he'll go way further in life with those things than for him going to college. I am sad for him that he's not having the normal high school experience of, like, high school football games and dances. I mean, he has other friends, so he could get invited to those things. But, like, so that makes me sad. And again, the college experience of living in the dorms with your friends down the hall and living on campus and all that, like, I do think there's something cool about that. I almost wish that they would provide that. It's almost like the transition out of your parents' home, but into real life, where it's like you could be somewhere. I should invent this. You want to do this? I need some dollars. But like literally a place where kids could apply to go and they live there. And it's like they are learning all these life skills of like cooking and doing your own laundry and balancing your checkbook and taxes. And like, could you imagine getting out of school at 17 and for the next 2 years you get to go do those things? Like you learn how to cook, you learn how to grocery shop, you learn how to do it on a budget, you learn how to manage your budget, you learn how to do your taxes. Like what couple things?
I'm like, I want to go as a
wanna go
student
now.
still, and I'm 40 now.
Yeah, sign me up.
No, I think so. I actually got my GED, and that's something that it's interesting because when I say that to people for the last 20 years, everyone's like, really? Like it, as if it's so shocking because only, struggling dropouts students
get a GED,
criminals, prisoners, like they act like but the truth is, so I was homeschooled, and also speaking to the whole high school experience thing, I do sometimes think I would have liked that, but at the different paths, and sometimes you're just on one and you got to follow it. I got to experience a lot of really cool things that my friends in high school didn't. And I also feel that I became a very strong person in a way. Maybe it would have been the same either way, but not having so much influence of peer pressure around me all the time and just thinking about who I was, in my high school years. So, but we weren't doing a correspondence or like remote satellite homeschool thing. It was literally like my mom bought the curriculum, and once a year, a certified teacher had, I don't even know if certified teacher is a thing, but like a teacher, I think who worked with the city or something, had to come look at our work and just to make sure that we were on track with what we were learning. It was very casual. It wasn't a test. Just kind of looked at what we were doing and would like sign something that made it fine that we weren't in school. But at the end of my, in quotations, junior year, because everything's a blur, it's like I was just doing homework all the time when I was a kid. My parents were like, after next year, you are going to have to take your GED, because we didn't realize that even though this teacher's coming and signing off on your work, it doesn't count as credit. And to graduate, you need 3 years to get the credit you need to graduate. And
you couldn't backtrack it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do another year of this pointless bullshit homework and then go take a GED. I'm going to go take my GED now.
Yeah.
And so I studied for it and went and took it. And then the rest is history. Just started living life. And I literally don't think that there is a single moment or experience in my life with my interest and the kind of life I want to live that having a GED has negatively affected me.
Yeah, I do think that the negative stigma, or like the stigma that's on it, is starting to change, because I think during the pandemic, so many kids, everybody was homeschooled for multiple years. College was online, like you couldn't go back to college. Like, so it is so funny to me when people are like, you didn't sit in a university classroom, and I'm like, nobody sits in a university classroom anymore. And honestly, like one of the other things I always think about this is selfish for me, but there's so much evil in the world right now, like especially for these high school kids, like the amount of high schools that have had shootings at them, the amount of high schools that have had in the last 2 years fentanyl issues. I mean, where we live. I'm in a very nice neighborhood. El Camino is the public school that's literally right outside the gate of this community. And last year, a kid from El Camino died from fentanyl, and I don't think he knew.
Yeah,
it was. You know what I'm saying? So like, these are the things that I count my blessings with Dom. Of like, okay,
maybe he doesn't have his own dance, but
those are two things that
safe.
I don't have to worry about. By the way, I think in a lot of ways, college is amazing. Like, I think the fun opportunity of it, I think a lot of times when you're at the bigger colleges, the bigger campuses, the sororities and the fraternities and the friends that you make and the connections that you make that can help you later in life, I think that those are probably amazing for so many people. So
Yeah.
I have no knocking on college, except for I think there's a lot of stuff that they force you to have to take classes on that are, it's not necessary. I would love to go back right now. I would love to go back and get my exercise science degree. And every time I look at it, the one thing that holds me back is the stupid general education that I'm just like, I don't want, like I have a lot of.
Can your credits from 20 years ago or whatever count with it?
Yes, but here was the thing. As a dance major at Webster, because we had to do so much dancing, I was actually a performing arts major. I wasn't just a dance major. I was a performing arts major with emphasis in dance. And because there were so many different performance type classes that I had to take, out of the 7 or 8 different categories of general education, we only had to take classes from 4 of them, and we got to pick. So, you know, your girl didn't take math or science.
Right.
Like, no, thank you. So I'm like, I don't want to go back and take algebra again. Like, I remember actually when I left Webster, I did go to another college for a semester, and that because I was thinking about going into physical therapy for dancers. And it was like, okay, well, you hadn't taken some of these general education. And I was sitting in a night class. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and was literally learning about the water cycle, like the rain, and it goes into the ground. I was like, you have got to be shitting me that I am spending what, $300 a credit to sit in this class and learn about this. Like, what does this have to do with helping a dancer rehab a busted hip or a knee or a back injury? Like, this is a waste of my time. And I was like, I can't do it. And I left. Like, I was just like, I'm not doing this. So there is still a part of me that actually wants to go back and wants that degree for myself. But time is precious, man. And I got a hard time wasting time on stuff that is useless.
Yeah, I think that really is the thing when it comes to college. It's like, and I know a lot of people have different opinions about college and how it was for them or what they would advise their kids to do. But I just think where I came from, it's like a no-brainer. You're supposed to go to college, should go away. I think people should really use their thoughts of, do I have any idea what I want to do with my life? And if I don't, do I want to make this financial investment? And if it's for the college experience and just that kind of thing, and you have the resources to do that without it costing you for years, then by all means, go do it. Yeah. If someone wants to send me to college right now, full ride, I'll go. But thinking about the cost of it and the pressure on society to go, even when you can't afford it and you don't know what you want to do, is really where I like to speak up and say, okay, let's pump the brakes a minute.
Yeah.
Do something else and figure out where you want to fit in the world, because there could be a lot more efficient and effective paths to get there. So
yeah. Well, before we wrap it up, let me ask you, because we've talked obviously basically about the college experience, but like let's go back to college years for a second. Mm-hmm. So like 18 to 22, 23, we'll say, because not even people don't even always finish college in 4 years. Sometimes it's like 5 or 6. So we'll say 18 to 23 or 24. Favorite experience during your college years? Like, is there one thing that stands out that you're like, that was an awesome experience for that time period in my life?
I would say yes. And it was when I was 20. So it would have been the end of, if it was a 4-year situation. I was a part of this company that they were like a talent agency, and they had this big showcase with a bunch of agents and stuff, and it cost a lot of money to do it, but they had me come for free because she's talented, honey.
She's talented, girl.
So they wanted me on their stages. So that was really exciting, and that went for 6 months, and I felt like I was learning about the industry, and it really is wild, like what I thought it was like versus now living in LA, what it actually is.
Right.
And then after that 6 months, I went on, and that was my first cruise ship contract. And that was just a really exciting time, because before I was 21, I never even flew on a plane. And so it's like, there's a lot of life to live for me to figure out who I am. And it's wild because I grew up so heavily in the thing is, when you're 17 or 18, you are going to picture the rest of your life like based on the experiences you've had. But in the grand scheme of things, you've had very little control over the experiences you've had.
Yeah.
And so it was really exciting for me because that's when I started living life and seeing how I was in different circumstances and places that I've never been. So that was my biggest thing, honing into my talent and for those 6 months and then going to that big, which I shared a story about bombing a performance.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah.
at that
It
event.
was that event?
Because it was so good.
Okay.
Like my first one was so good. They were like, we want you to showcase. I was like, I'm the star of this whole fucking event. And pride comes before the fall, baby, because I was like, okay, well, it's not perfect yet.
Yeah. Getting there.
Yeah. But, and then going on to the cruise ship, that was so helpful. And I think taught me so much more in that moment than years about who I was than years out of college might have.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think in my college years, like the most fun, memorable experience actually is the Disney college program. Like I did my freshman year, applied for it at the end of my freshman year, got it. So ended up going kind of through the summer and fall, like end of summer, actually, I think is when I got down there in August. So I was there August, September, October. I was there through the new year. So I guess it was almost like a 6-month program that I was on. Yeah. But like met so many amazing people. It was fun. You still had to go do certain seminars like monthly. We had to take these different educational seminars, learning sort of business type seminars. So there was some learning that was happening, but it really was real world again of like being out there, budgeting my money. I was auditioning. So like, I auditioned for them. I made it all the way down to final cuts where they wanted to make me Zazu, the bird in the Lion King show, who's actually the aerialist. But it was if the girl didn't renew her contract, but she did. So I didn't get it. Probably a good thing because I'm actually afraid of heights. And I went and saw that show and I was like, you wanted me to spin how high?
From a ribbon?
You crazy. They offered me Jane from Tarzan to walk around the park and be Jane.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but the pay wasn't there. And ultimately, I ended up going back to college for another 2 years after that, basically. But I would say the Disney college program was probably the most fun. College was great, learned a lot of life experiences in it, but ultimately wasn't necessary. Yeah. All right. Well, we would love to know your guys' college experiences. You can leave us a comment, leave us a review. We always, this is just all of us besties hanging out.
Shooting the shit.
Shooting the shit. So you tell us, was college worth it for you, or are you still paying off student loans?
Right. Did you go? Do you regret going? Are you glad you went? Are you trying to go now later in life? I want to hear all of it.
I want to know. Yeah, for sure. You can always email us to everythingsperfectpodcast@gmail.com. As always, you can follow us on social media at Everything's Perfect Official. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week for another episode of Everything's Perfect.
Bye.